Hi. Hello. It's Reahna Miller. I'm here with Nara Papers. I've been asked kindly to do a tutorial for you all. Just thought I'd give it a couple of minutes and wait for some people to join. Hi, hello. Hi. So as we wait just a couple of minutes for people to join in with us, I kind of lined out some of the materials that I'll use for our tutorial today. If you guys want to paint along, that would be wonderful. And so I kind of laid these out and get somewhat of an idea. For my paintings, I've been using an airbrush. So if you have a compressor at home with an airbrush, but really anything you have to move your alcohol inks around would work fine. Sometimes I even use just a little puffer, something along these lines, if you have something like this at home. Of course, always your isopropyl alcohol, or if you have something else you would like to use to spread that out. And then the different types of inks that I'll use today, I do use Ranger inks. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to try the new Nara inks yet, which I'm very excited. Someday, hopefully, will be available here in the US for us. In the meantime, right now, I'm using some of the Ranger products. The alloy is what I use to create the gold tulips. And I use some different mixatives. I like to use a little bit of snow cap with Nara's black paper. And I have a little bit of blue, and whatever green works for you would be great. I also use, or I'll use today, a little paintbrush. And I do have an acrylic paint pen. I use the Posca pen brand that has a little fine tip on it. Any dark paper of your choice, but hopefully some Nara paper. Nara makes some really good black substrate for us to use on the with the alcoholinks. Hi Melody, I recognize that. How are you guys doing? Well, it's been a couple of minutes. I think we've had a few people join. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by officially introducing myself. I'm Reahna Miller, and I have an Instagram page that is Reahna Miller Art. I will try and put that in the caption when the video is over and save to IGTV. I started painting with alcohol inks probably roughly a little more than a year ago. They are fairly new, but I discovered totally by accident at the craft store one day and decided to play around, and I have completely fallen in love. And shortly afterwards, I discovered Nara paper, and completely also in love with Nara paper. Some of the reasons I love using Nara paper are that the substrate itself is easy to wipe clean, so if I make a mistake, something I'm not completely in love with, I can kind of start over. And it's also the best black substrate that I have found to work with so far. So very excited about that and excited to show you this tutorial today. So without any more explanation, I'll just kind of show you this is what I planned on demonstrating for you all today. And we'll start off with creating kind of the background. If you can see here, I have kind of like it almost looks like snow falling in the back. So we'll start with that. And we're gonna create these really simple tulips, guys, that you can use with a metallic at home. The texture that you see in the petals here does get, the only inks I've found so far that do this are the alloys with Ranger inks. I'll show you a couple of examples of that as well. And then we'll create the stems and some little interesting details. So just a little bit further about the alloy. If you don't have the actual Ranger alloy at home, I did a couple different small examples for you. Some people will paint with the Jacquard products too, and they have the metallics, the Pinata Brass or Pinata Gold. You'll see you can also get some of that texture in. And then Tim Holtz Ranger Inks also has made a mixative, and there's some different metallic mixatives. But what I just wanted to point out is that it is a little bit more opaque. So regarding whatever your metallic that you're using at home may not look exactly the same. I'll try and do my best to show you my technique for creating that. But so far it's been mostly caused just by using these alloys. So I'll get started. Make some room. Obviously, with the mixatives, always making sure they're shooken up really well. And I usually put just, for these alloys, probably about 3 drops, a small pool here. And then add directly to the pool, I'm gonna add about 3 drops, 4 drops of some isopropyl. And kind of behind the petals, I'm just blowing. If you'll notice, it's kind of hard to talk and do this, I've never tried this before, sorry. What I do to create the texture that you see start to form is that I'm kind of putting on and off pressure with the air, so I'm not giving constant airflow. And I think that that kind of helps create that different texture in the petals, at least I've noticed when I've created some of the different metallics. That if you kind of pulse the air through, that it helps create a little bit more texture in the petals, and just let the ink kind of go where it wants. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm getting kind of far away, sorry about that. Air compressor is going to make a little noise as it recharges a bit here. I'm going to get ready for my next petals, maybe over here on the side a little bit. And let's just put another little guy right down here in the center. Well, not extremely tulip-like today with our ends, but that's alcoholink for you, right? It always kind of does a little bit of what it wants. All right. Hi, thanks for joining us. Hi Kia. All right, so next I'm gonna go ahead, and I realize now that I actually skipped over what is in the spray. I'll try and take some questions here at the end as well. As far as what I'm using, this is just an airbrush. So it's just blowing air. I have it set at about 50 PSI, which is a little high. You could work with it at a lower level if that's what you have. And I'm using just the alloy statue, which gives the gold color. This one is made by Ranger. You can use another metallic. And then adding the isopropyl and just adding air. And that's all I've really been doing to create the petals so far. So right now, the first step, I was going to go ahead and add some snow. I'm going to go ahead and do that now just to give it a little bit of texture before I get my stems in here. I love these little shot glasses. You can dirty them and reuse them and then just throw them away and not think anything about it. So put a little bit of alcohol. I'm going to use a different metallic, a little silvery, and add some blue, and then just give us some snowflakes in the background to create just a little bit more interest with the picture. Hi, thanks for joining. So again, just a little bit of metallic, a little bit of blue. I'm just using kind of a really tiny paintbrush that I have, just kind of laying around in here, and just kind of tap it on the edge of my cup and create some snowflakes. Okay. As that dries for just a second, I'm going to go ahead and also mix up a little teeny bit of green, and we'll start doing some stems. We'll put some stems and some leaves on here. I suppose it is doing kind of a little strange doing a tutorial when you're having a one-way conversation with yourself, but I'm glad you all hopefully understand. Hi, I wish I could talk back with you. All right, so I mean, all I've done is just created, and I'm sorry if I did not mention earlier, I'm gonna mix in a little bit of snow cap. I'm mixing that with any color green of your choice. I used willow in this case. And mix it with a little bit of snow cap and a little bit of metallic, and I'm gonna use that just to kind of put some stems in here. So, I think we shall start. Bring it back so you can see it there. I like to put my stems in pretty loose. The flowers themselves, obviously these are very abstract looking tulips, nothing too precise. So just kind of roughing in where I would like this stem to go. Kind of just I'll show you guys where we're at right now. Just some kind of really loose, abstract looking, kind of some stems we have there. I'm kind of working some leaves. I'm sorry if I'm missing any comments or questions. I'm kind of looked up at the screen every once in a while here, but I'm sure I've missed plenty. I'll pause for a moment here at the end, kind of take some questions if there's more specific questions I may have missed. I'm really, with these leaves, or petals, leaves, not really giving it much thought, I guess. It's just very loose, abstract painting. Kind of get the impression of the tulips here. In nature, nothing really follows specific rules either, so just kind of let it do what it wants. I think I need just one more. I'm kind of looking at this a little bit here too, as I was putting the stems in. I think I'm going to add just a little bit. Definitely had, as you saw in the original example, I had a little bit fuller tulips here, and I did do a couple of different petals when I did that. So I'm going to go ahead and add a couple in here so that we can get a little bit wider flowers up here. I'm sorry, I'm reading and talking at the same time. Is it a mix of ink and solution? So as I show you really quick, I'm gonna do a couple of more up here on the top of these tulips, you'll see I'm actually just using Ranger Alloy, and this is the color Statue. And I'm putting directly to the paper, I'm just putting a few drops. And then adding, this is 91% isopropyl. directly to the pool of where I put that. I'm just adding in a few drops, and then with the airbrush, just kind of giving it some pumps of air. Kind of some of the, let me show you this. So as we're getting kind of some of the texture, I think is from the short bursts of air. It'll kind of start to dry, and then it'll expand further with the ink, and then it starts to give you some of those lined textures in there. And as I explained a little bit earlier in the video, that there's some different metallics I've played with. The alloy is the one that comes up with the most texture that I've seen so far, and I did see some in Pinata, but there's a huge variety out there of metallics. I would love to see other people's creations and what they do, and also experiment myself with some other of the metallics and see if we can create a similar look with those. But with the alloy, that's what I've been getting, is this textured look. So I'll do one more. We're gonna kind of add over onto this one here, and you can see that again, just as I add just a little bit of pool. I did get a little extra there, that's all right. And then some of the alcohol, and then just some bursts. I'm kind of guiding it along the outside, get it to go the direction I was hoping it would go. And that's that, and that kind of creates that texture again. And then really the last trick that's left here is that I take, on that particular picture, I've taken Posca in this case, but just an acrylic paint pen with a fine tip on it, and then I can create the tops of my flowers. I like to create kind of some interest in the centers, and so just by dabbing in my Posca pen, not really any rhyme or reason, just kind of fill in, oh, you can't see that, sorry. Kind of fill in here, maybe a couple up here. This guy, he's a little scraggly and definitely needs some love here, so we'll give him a little bit extra. All right, and then kind of just pick a direction. Where's your moonlight shining on your dark paper, your sunlight, and give a few little highlights here and there. So if you guys have been following along, you see, I mean, they're super simple. Anybody really can do this. So I really hope that you all will give this a try. I would love if you tried to paint your own version. Tagged me, tag Nara Papers. Again, my tag at Reahna Miller at Reahna Miller Art. Reahna is Reahna Miller Art, and you'll find me on there. And hopefully you'll tag me with some of your pictures and things that you create, so that I can see what you guys come up with. Maybe even some different metallics or different options, slightly different styles. That would be a lot of fun. So if anybody has any questions, I know I missed a couple as they were coming up. I apologize. It's a very small window to read them as they're going by there. I'm not being the best multitasker. But if you do have any questions, I would love to answer questions for you guys. Bye, you're welcome. Just kind of play while we're waiting. Thank you guys. Thanks for following along. Thanks, Melody. Bye. If you're just joining at the end, guys, I'll try and save this to the IGTV on Nara Papers so that you guys can watch it back. Hopefully, again, that you get some of your own Nara paper. You can create your own wonderful, simple designs like this at home. I'll give it just a couple more seconds, see if there's any questions that come in. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you all. Have a good day. Bye-bye.